So who's your dream guest to have on Courtside Club?
So I thought about this a little bit, and so this came up randomly yesterday. I was like, who would be a really cool guest? Nobody would ever expect this. Tony Hawk.
Oh man, I like that. He's a super nice
Reason,
guy too.
I'm obsessed with his video game. We re-downloaded it. We have 3 parks left to beat the second game. We beat the first game. Obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with his social media. It's hilarious. And I just saw him doing 1v1s online, his video game, but also just someone who's been in the space. Again, he's a sports icon, but I feel like Courtside Club is this mix, right? So he's one. Nicki Minaj is another. I love Nicki Minaj.
Ooh,
She's
okay.
hilarious. And she like had her radio show, and she's kind of one of those celebrities she's like so sassy and untouchable in a way. And I just want to see what our energies would be like. That might be one that I would be like a little bit starstruck just because it's Nicki Minaj. I would also love to have Logan Paul on the show. And I know he's polarizing. Some people hate him. Some people love him. We're both from Ohio. I'm really interested in his character arc because him and his brother, I feel like, have come a long way. And I was one of those people years ago who was like, who the hell are these kids that are just doing messed up stuff all the time? I don't want to curse on your podcast. But to see where he's kind of grown to and the things that he's doing in business and then with Impulsive, which I think is a really good show. So those are 3 that I've thought about. I feel like in the basketball space, there's a lot of people that I think down the line, once Courtside Club grows a bit, that I have met or talked to before that I could get on because we've worked together and had a good time together. So, if you want to go big or go home like Michael Jordan, I don't know if he would even consider that ever, even if it was like the biggest show in the world. But yeah, I just listed off a bunch of people, but we have a long list. We have a whole like Google doc of it, but you should come on also, by the way.
I'd love to. For basketball, I'd love to interview Kevin Durant because like I would just want to talk basketball. Like I wouldn't want to like talk about all your side ventures and stuff. Like don't get me wrong, there's interest in that for certain people, but for me it's like I just want to, and I know Kevin Durant loves basketball. So I'd love to just pick his brain about all those different things. The Tony Hawk thing is interesting to me because I just can't imagine playing a sport where practicing every day involves repeatedly falling down and hurting yourself. Like that's the wild part to me. It's because we might sprain our ankle or get a little sore, but like these dudes put their body on the line every single day.
He's still doing it though. Do you follow him on Twitter?
Yeah. So wasn't he doing a thing recently where it was like, I'm going to try to get all of my tricks one last time? I think, and then he was like, because he's aging a little bit, obviously, and he's like, I'm going to just try to hit all of my signature tricks one last time. And each time he gets it, he fails a bunch of times before it, and then he gets it and has like this emotional moment. It's really cool. I think his whole social media presence over the last couple of years has been super fascinating.
He's honestly like I would be so excited to meet him. And I know that that's so out of left field. I skateboarded once when I was a kid. I fell, cracked my ankle open, never did it again. I've literally never been on a skateboard since. So like, it's not even a sport that I do or know much about, but I love the freaking video game. And I think he's so dope. So anyway, he would be so cool. That's Courtside Club for you though. You never know who the guest is going to be.
So let's talk a little bit of NBA hoops. So obviously last week on Thursday, the Warriors won their 4th title in the last 8 years, 6 trips to the finals in the last 8 years. Do you think Steph, Klay, and Draymond get one more together?
Yeah, I think they can. Can I just say that I called the Warriors winning the finals and I called them winning in 6? Like early. Like first round playoffs. Sorry. My predictions aren't always correct. And I was like, you know what? I need to brag about this one a little bit.
No, you should. You got to take your victory laps when you can because the trolls will let you know every time you're wrong.
Oh, yeah. Every time. They'll find my old tweets and show me it was a bad take. But here's what I think about them. I was rooting for them. And I was rooting for them because I think they're a really good example of good basketball and what it means to like keep a team together. And these guys, their chemistry really paid off. And I was actually doing a show with the NBA on Twitter Spaces, and I got to interview Andre Iguodala and Draymond. And, you know, Andre Iguodala obviously didn't play much. And when he did finally get back on the court, he's like, I haven't played with these guys, you know, in however many games, but the chemistry that we have off the court easily translates. And I feel like I'm falling right back in. Maybe I'm a step behind, you know, physically or whatever, but I still know where these guys are. And I think that's something not to take advantage of, because in the past, however many years in the NBA, we've seen guys go to this team, getting their friends to come with them to this team, you know, and it's proven with Milwaukee and the Warriors that doesn't really work. These super teams, these friends and family teams that some of the guys are trying to create and say it's the GMs, but we all know it's not. You know, I like good basketball and the system of basketball to be rewarded. And I think it's really cool what they've done.
Well, and you could see, most importantly, you can see it in the fan base. Like I was talking about this with Colin after the finals, but to me, it's not a coincidence that the Warriors get such good TV ratings. Yeah, obviously Steph is such a brilliant basketball player to watch, but also their fan base is as loyal and ravenous as you'll find around the league, because they rode through the highs and lows with that group. They became extremely attached to each of the players, and they don't have that mercenary type of feel. Like my favorite counter example to this is LeBron when he passed. I think it was when he passed Karl Malone or Kobe or something like that on the scoring list the year that they missed the playoffs in 2019. And there's just kind of this awkward feel in the arena because it's like, yes, LeBron's a Laker, but like the Laker fans are like, you're just passing through, man. Like you're not really one of us. Now he's earned that right over the last few years, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the Warriors are the way that they are. And I 100% agree with you that it's good to see that type of basketball rewarded. All right, so I've got one last question for you.
Okay.
So we have seen NBA players such as Draymond host their own podcast. We've seen like CJ McCollum and Danny Green and some other examples. Which NBA player would you like to see have a podcast?
That's a good one. Well, this is not one I thought about. So I say someone along the same lines of like a Draymond Green type of energy is Patrick Beverley. If you want pure entertainment, you know, sometimes I'm here for the pure entertainment but I'm sure he would, if we're going to see some viral clips, it would come from his. But from a standpoint of just, I don't know, but then again, for me, like what players do you think of when you think of players who are kind of well-rounded and doing some other things beyond basketball? Because that's, again, you're interested in like the straight hoops and you would love to hear, you know, like you said, you want to talk to Katie because you guys could really get into the nitty-gritty of basketball. I love all the stuff surrounding it that leads into basketball. So even if it was like Steph Curry, what if it was like a family podcast? You know what I mean? If it's like him, his wife, and his kids.
With his family, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that to me would be fun.
You've got Dame Lillard with the rap stuff. You've got Russell Westbrook with all the style stuff. There's a bunch of players around the league that have interests off the court. I think we're to your point, like different types of content will appeal to different types of people, but I think the number one thing that would matter is authenticity. Like,
for sure.
I have no interest in seeing a LeBron James podcast because I would just be meeting his representative the whole time. I know he's not going to come out and be LeBron. You know what I mean? Right. So like my thing would be like someone who has interest off the court for the sake of what you're talking about, but they have to be willing to be authentic and to drop down the facade and just be you on camera and let us know who you are.
Which I think Pat Beverley, who is
yeah, that's a great example.
Right. And that's one of the guys that's like, if I'm rooting for the team that he's not playing on, I can't stand that guy, you know, but when he's on your team, you're just kind of like, man, you know, he might just knock someone out this game. You never know.
Every time you see his name come up, it's like the same people that were talking shit about him while they're watching him play are like, oh, we can get him. Like, can we trade for him? What is it? What kind of number is he going to fetch in the free agent market?
Right.
All right. So that thank you so much, Rachel, for coming to hang out with us. Could you take one last minute to just kind of plug where we can find your show and when your next episode comes out and things along those lines?
Of course. So Courtside Club is live now. You can find it anywhere that you listen to your podcast. So Spotify, Apple. The full episodes are on ESPN's YouTube channel. You can find also, I believe, on ESPN app. You can find some stuff there. And then clips are on all my social channels and my YouTube channel. All my social media is at RA DeMita. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, all the things. And yeah, new episode of Courtside Club coming out Thursday. So for the first couple of weeks, we are throwing a bunch at you. So we have 2 episodes a week for the first few weeks. And I just want people to be able to experience this show. Binge it if you want to. Our catalog will build quickly and then we'll go to once a week. But yeah, Monday, Thursday for the next few weeks. Tune in.